Jai Sai Ram. Story of a fruit seller and Lord Krishna. There was a fruit seller who lived in Mathura. She heard from some people who were coming to Mathura from Gokulam that a very beautiful and charming child of about 2 years old, son of Nanda and Yashoda, living in Gokula is coming. She wanted to have darshan of him. So, she took some fruits in her basket and went to the area of Nanda Bhavan, the home of Nanda. There, she called, "Oh, falalo, falalo," meaning, "Take fruits, take fruits." In Mathura and Vrindavan, there were many fruit sellers everywhere, and she would also sell fruits in that way. But when she came to Nanda Bhavan, she could not see the child, as sometimes Krishna was sleeping, sometimes he was playing here and there, and sometimes he was in the lap of Yashoda. Therefore, she never had a chance to see him. One day she said, "Today I will go and not return until I get his darshan." She made a vow to do or die. The objective of her life was fixed. Having made this promise, she called out, "Falalo, falalo." Gradually, she forgot to say this and instead called, "Govindalo, Govindalo, Damodaralo, Madhavalo, take Madhava, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava." The easiest way to see Krishna is to perform Nama Sankirtana. The fruit seller adopted this process as did the gopis. When Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance, they sang his names so that he would come back. Like other fruit sellers, this lady was practiced in carrying her basket on the head, not touching it with her hands. She could even dance easily without it falling from her head. In this way, from morning until 12, she looked for Krishna. At last, she became tired and sat down at the door of Nanda Bhavan. How could I see Krishna? She thought. At this time, Krishna took some corn, wheat, and other grains from the storehouse. He was quite naked, wearing around his waist only a gold chain with tinkling bells, the sweet sound of which sometimes charmed even himself. He picked up some grains, but as he walked over to the fruit seller, the grains fell through his fingers. Only 2 or 3 remained. With very greedy eyes, Krishna looked towards the very sweet golden, yellow and reddish fruit, bananas, mangoes, grapes, kadamba and so many others. "Oh, give me fruits," he said to her. The fruit seller looked at him and became totally charmed. She said, "I will give them to you if you sit on my lap and call me mother." This was a very big problem for Krishna. If I am sitting on her lap and addressing her as mother, he thought, everyone will laugh. What should I do? He quickly looked here and there to see if anyone was watching. When he saw that there were no witness, then very quickly for a moment he sat on the lap of the fruit seller and said, "Oh mother, give me fruits," and then jumped off. The fruit seller happily began to give him fruits. "What do you want?" she asked. He replied, "I want this and I want that." At first, he held out his hands, and then, as he took more and more fruits, he held both arms close to his chest. She gave him 2, 3, 4, 5 fruits and more until his arms were filled up. Looking here and there, dancing, and he went to his mother and put all the fruits in her veil. "Oh, from where have you brought the fruits?" she asked him, and quickly she began to distribute them. Although hundreds of gopis came and took those sweet fruits, the supply never diminished. It was unlimited. What happened to the fruit seller? She simply sat there in deep thought. Her heart had been stolen by Krishna, and without her heart, she could only be absorbed in remembering him. After some time, someone came and asked her, "Why are you here? What are you doing?" Somehow she remembered her duties. She took her basket and started for home in Mathura. Midway, near to where the Yamuna was flowing, she began to wonder, Why is my basket so heavy? When she removed it from her head and she saw that it was full of diamonds and other jewels, she became astonished. She put it back on her head, but then threw it into the Yamuna. She had no need at all for the jewels. What became of her, no one knows. In the eyes of the world, she had become totally mad. She was not concerned about whether her veil was on her head or off, whether she was naked or what her condition was. She was always in trance. In fact, she entered a state even greater than trance. Krishna immediately took her body, her outer shell, and gave her a position that he gave to Putana, sending her to Gloka Vrindavana to serve him there. Krishna is so kind. She had no special relationship with Krishna. Her bhakti was like Santarasa, the mood of neutrality, which is devoid of a mood of service. Still, thinking her to be like a mother, Krishna called her as mother and gave her a position far superior to Putana, Kubja and others. He is so merciful. If your bhakti is very high, then in one birth you can achieve a destination like this. Krishna just captured the heart of this simple lady. This is bhakti. Krishna does not care about what we have done or who we are. If we simply offer a little love to Lord Krishna, he reciprocates with an ocean of infinite love. Srila Prabhupada explains, if we take one sincere step towards Krishna, Krishna is willing to run thousands of steps towards us. He just wants to see our sincerity. Why should we be attached to the illusory jewels of this world, which simply bind us to ego and attachment, when Krishna is eager to give us the greatest jewel of the realization, the jewel of aesthetic love? When Lord Chaitanya was in Varanasi, he gave an analogy. I am a fruit seller distributing the fruits of love of God. I can't distribute all these fruits alone. I will give any one of these fruits at the smallest price, the sincerity of willingness to accept them. I am asking all my devotees for all time to come to render the highest welfare work by helping me distribute these fruits by promoting the chanting of the holy names. What we learned from this story: Krishna never sees who we are. He sees only the pure devotion and love. In the same way, Baba is looking at our love and devotion only. He does not see who we are. Let us also be like this fruit seller and pour our love and devotion to Baba. Fruit seller waited to have the darshan of Krishna for several days, and finally he appeared. Likewise, let us also tirelessly follow Baba and show our devotion. Pray to him with Shraddha and Saburi. One day we will be blessed. Let us follow Shraddha and Saburi preached by Baba himself. Fruit seller has got the salvation due to her bhakti. Let us also have great bhakti towards our Baba, and he will give us the best. Fruit seller had given few fruits to Krishna, but got back highly valuable jewels. Likewise, if we give dakshina or donation with pure bhakti and seva mindset, Baba will return back many times. In chapter 14, Sai Sat Charitra, Baba himself said that he had to give back 100 times more of what he received. Krishna too did the same to the fruit seller. So, let us do charity and make Baba satisfied with our services. Let us read Sat Charitra every Thursday and be highly devoted to Baba with Shraddha and Saburi. All our needs will be fulfilled one day. Satchidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai.